Hello, and welcome back to Scared Raccoon. Today I kind of wanted to do a iceberg video on paranormal rituals. So we all know what those are. We pretty much have done them whenever we were kids. There's going to be some ones that you know, and then we're going to go deeper into not very well known ones. I kind of wanted to start off with something that we should all pretty much know, who is Bloody Mary. And to do this ritual, from what I've been told, was that I would have to go into like the bathroom or a place with a mirror and have all the lights off and chant her name 3 times. But there's a different version of the story that was told back then, where a woman had to walk backwards up the stairs with a lightly lit candle staring into the mirror, and it would show her future husband, or it would show the Grim Reaper. It has been told that Bloody Mary is either a ghost or a witch or a demon, and she can come out either pretty nice or pretty bad. She would either curse you or give you some type of advice. It's very weird, and the story's just been told for so long that there's so many different versions of this story. The Ouija board is something that we've all kind of used, especially if you were a kid, or even now you probably still do use it. It is just a board with the numbers 0 to 9, yes or no, and usually it has like the letters from A to Z. This was used to talk to spirits, and what you would want to do is have either a group of people, or if it's just you, and you put your fingers on the little piece that they have for it. It is like a little, basically it's just like a little way of how the ghost or demon or whoever it is would communicate with you with the board. You would just put your finger on it and you would just ask questions, and it's supposedly supposed to move by itself to answer your questions. Like if you were to ask if you are there, it would move by itself to yes. So the first time this was actually used or like written down in history was around 1100 AD in China. It was known as Fuji, kind of like planchette writing, and it was really mostly used for necromancy and communion with spirits. Light as a feather, stiff as a board is probably something that we also did as a kid. You would have to have one person sit in the middle on a chair and 4 other people surround them. 2 of the people would put their fingertips underneath their armpits, and then the other 2 would put it under their knee. And you would at least first try, and it wouldn't work. So what you would do is like put your hands over their head and transfer the energy into the body of that person. And usually it's typically like chanted light as a feather, stiff as a board. And the next time that the people actually try to raise them is they feel lightless. And it's really weird, but also really cool, because I've actually done this myself. But there's also like different versions. There's another version of where they would talk about the person being ill. Like the person in the middle would be there, but they would be on their back. The other people would be around them, and a person that is closest to their head would chant most of the stuff. Usually they would go like they're looking ill, she's looking worse, they're dying basically, which is really weird. And like I said, typically you would chant light as a feather, stiff as a board, and the next time they try to raise the person, they feel very light or weightless. Hide and go seek alone is a game I've heard of but never actually played myself. It's originally called Hitatori Kakurenbo, and it's a famous game in Japan and Korea. It originated from Japan, where you just let a spirit or demon take possession of a doll and you would play hide and seek with it. So this one's going to be kind of long because there's a lot of steps to it, because it is very specific with it. But what you want to do is get a stuffed doll with limbs, not like a human doll, something with like stuffing in it basically. Rice, something from your body like a fingernail, a sharp edge, like a knife or scissors, red thread, salt water or salt, a bathtub with water or basically a giant bucket, a very safe place of hiding. So to actually start it, you want to give the doll a name. Then you want to cut it open and take all the stuffing out. Put the rice in it as well as the part of your body, so like that fingernail. Sew the doll back shut with the red thread and wrap the remaining red string around the whole doll. So then you want to prepare the bath or large bucket that you have by filling it with water and usually wait until 3 a.m. sharp. There are some versions of the story where you don't have to wait till 3 a.m., but it's really up to you. And you have to have all the lights off in your house and only leave the television on, because this will help you with where the doll is located. So assuming that you went with that 3 a.m. thing, it's once it hits 3 a.m., you want to take the doll with you to the bathroom and repeat the first tagger is, and you want to say your name 3 times is pretty much what you want to do while closing your eyes. Then place the doll in the bathtub or giant bucket, walk away to another room, but don't look back, because then you may see the spirit possessing the doll, and if it actually catches you or notices you watching them, it will come after you. Next, you want to count slowly from 1 to 10. After that, turn around and proceed back to the doll. Go close to the doll in the bathtub or giant bucket of water and say, "I found you," and then say the doll's name. And then stab the doll with your weapon or object, whatever you have. It could be like scissors or a knife. After that, close your eyes and now repeat "now," and then you would say the doll's name. Is it 3 times, and then leave the object inside the doll. Then pour some salt water into your mouth, but don't drink the salt water, as it protects you from the spirits or whatever it is that is possessing that doll. And you would need the remaining salt water to end the ritual. Bring along the cup of salt water and go to your hiding spot. It is recommended to keep your doors and windows unlocked in case you unexpectedly run into some trouble, and your friends will be able to help you if they are outside your home. It is recommended to have a cell phone on silent mode and brightness on the lowest level in case of emergencies. Keep the salt water in your mouth at all times and never attempt to swallow it. Remain silent, and when you are hiding, as any sounds from you will alert the doll where you are. If the doll finds you, it will stab you with the object you stabbed it with, then possibly possess you as well, but you want to keep that salt water. So to actually end the ritual, you want to get out of your hiding spot, find the doll if it's not in the bathroom, and then drink the salt water. Pour the remaining salt water around the doll in a circle, as well as close your eyes and shout out, "I win," 3 times. The spirit in the doll will give up and the game ends. You must dispose of the doll by burying it with salt, otherwise the spirit will attempt to re-enter the doll. And there's also some versions of it that say put the salt in every corner of your house after you bury the doll, especially where the doll has been found, as salt drives away most malevolent spirits. So yeah, this one was a pretty long one. There's just so many steps to actually do it, but I find it pretty interesting, and it would be kind of cool to actually try it out. But also, I'm trying not to die or get cursed over here. But yeah. The elevator game is also something I've actually heard of. If you're just like me, you would know a lot of these, especially in the first tier of this iceberg. So to actually start this ritual, you need at least 1 person, a public building with at least 10 floors, and of course, an elevator. So this one also has kind of a few steps to it, and it has to be very specific or it won't really work. So first you want to, of course, enter the elevator. Then you want to press the 4th floor. So if anyone enters the elevator at any time of actually doing this ritual, it won't work, and you would have to actually start all over. So first you want to press the 4th floor. Then you want to go to the second, and then the sixth, and then the second again. Then press the 10th floor, then finally the 5th floor. If a woman enters the elevator on the 5th floor, don't look at her, don't speak to her, don't talk to her. She's basically not human, and she would decide to keep you for her own if you do kind of do that. So after that 5th floor, you want to press the 1st floor. The elevator will either ascend or descend. If the elevator reaches the 1st floor, leave and don't look back. If the elevator reaches the 10th floor, leave and do not respond to the woman if she asks where are you going or what's wrong. Her voice will be high when she asks that. If you are alone and you are basically in another world, electronics will not work here. The other world is identical to ours, but the two differences you will see are all the lights will be off, and the only thing you will be able to see from the windows is a red cross in the distance. So to return back to our world, you would have to press the same buttons, but that's only if you left the 10th floor. So you would again want to go 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, and 5. When you reach the 5th floor, press the button for the 1st floor, and the elevator will begin to ascend to the 10th floor. Press any other floor's button to cancel the ascension. You must press the button to use to cancel the ascension before you reach the 10th floor. After you reach the 1st floor, check your surroundings carefully. If anything seems off, even the smallest detail, don't exit the elevator. If you detect something is wrong, repeat step 2 until your surroundings look as they should. Once you are more comfortable, you have returned to your own world, you may actually leave the elevator. So that woman on the 1st floor is basically someone that would actually take you. I don't know if it's a demon or a ghost, but it's recommended don't look at her, don't speak to her. She's not a woman. If you do, she may decide to keep you for her own. So this one was actually kind of popular back then. There was a story of a unsolved murder where they thought she was actually doing the elevator ritual just because of the way she was acting. She was entering the elevator, she was exiting it, she was pressing certain things, but I think at the end it was kind of solved that she was basically mentally disturbed pretty badly, and it kind of just led to another thing. No one really knows how she ended up passing away, but it's very weird. I would look into it if I were you. I completely forgot it from the top of my head. Black cat scratch is something I've never actually heard of, but it seems like it's one of those simple ones, very easy to do, kind of like Bloody Mary. You need at least 2 people to play this game, and of course you can have more. So if you at least have the 2 people, you want to sit down on the floor. Your friend lies down on the floor with their head in your lap, and if you do have other people, they would have to sit around in a circle. You want to rub the person's temples in a soothing motion as you tell them scary stories about a cat. So the first story goes, there once was an old lady who owned a cat. The cat was very nice. It meowed and purred. One day, the cat got hit by a car and died. Cat scratch, cat scratch, cat scratch. The old lady got a new cat. The cat was very mean. It hissed and clawed. Cat scratch, cat scratch, cat scratch. One day, the cat got hit by a car and died. The old lady decided not to get any more cats. Cat scratch, cat scratch, cat scratch. And another story that you can actually tell is you are walking through a dark alley late at night. You are the only one there. The ground is slick with rain. The alley is filled with garbage cans and litter. But then you hear something. A movement in the garbage cans. You pick up your pace. You want to get out of the alley fast. But then you see something. Red eyes. Glowing red cat eyes. They are the eyes of an enormous cat. You run, but the cat chases you and jumps on you. It scratches you. 1, 2, 3. Cat scratch, cat scratch, cat scratch. I'm pretty sure those are the 2 stories you would have to tell them, but I'm not fully sure. But that was the final step. The person will get up quickly, and what you want to do is pull the back of their shirt up. red claw marks will appear on the person's back and they won't feel anything. So this one, like I said, is kind of simple. It's kind of fun. I mean, if you want to try it out, there's no harm in actually doing it. But, it's up to you, really. This one is called Charlie Charlie, which I'm pretty sure we've actually all heard because it went viral on the internet at one point. So it's very simple on what you want to do. You just get a piece of paper and 2 pencils. On the top left, you would put no. On the top right, you'd put yes. Bottom left, yes. And then bottom right, no. Then you want to get the pencils and have one laying across, and then basically just make a cross and have the pencil on top balance. You would ask questions, and it would kind of just go to yes or no. Kind of like a 8-ball. So there's not really much to this story. It's kind of just off of a old kind of told story from back then, but there's really not much to it. I don't think it was really actually something paranormal or ritual like. I think it was just something small and some type of game that people would assume had some type of ghost to deal with. The 3 Kings ritual is supposed to be a ritual that is supposed to show you the shadow side. If you've never actually seen the shadow side, a recurring dream is typically what that is. The stuff you're going to need for this ritual is a very large and empty, quiet room. If it has windows, you have to cover those windows up and make sure that room is in complete darkness. Next, you want to get a pack of candles with a lighter, a bucket of water and a mug, a fan, 2 large mirrors like the standing mirrors, 3 chairs, an alarm clock, an active cell phone that is charged, a person that is willing to follow the rules with you, and finally a small toy or a dear object from your childhood. You want to start the setup around 11 p.m. Place 1 chair in the center of the room facing north. Then you want to place the other 2 chairs to your left and right. The distance between your throne and that of your queen and fool should be the length of your arm. Place the 2 large mirrors on the queen and fool's chair and try your best to have them sit at a 90-degree angle. If you are able to sit down in your throne and see your reflection without moving your head or, looking at them, you've done it right. Place the bucket of water and the mug in front of you, just barely out of reach. Next, you want to place the fan behind you and turn it on to low or medium. Then you want to turn off all the lights, leave the door open, and go to your bedroom. Set the candles by the side of your bed, next to a lighter, your alarm clock, and your cell phone, and make sure your cell phone is charging. Set your alarm clock to 3:30 a.m., then turn off all the lights and go to sleep while holding your power object. Wake up at 3:30 a.m. with your alarm clock. Turn it off, but don't turn on any lights. You have exactly 3 minutes to light your candle, grab your cell phone, and make your way to the dark room to sit in your throne. You should be seated by 3:33 a.m., but don't forget your power object. Check for potential red flags. If your cell phone didn't charge, if the alarm didn't go off at 3:30, if you find the dark room door closed, or if the fan is turned off, don't do the ritual. If you do have to stop the ritual, you have to go to like a hotel or something, leave your house. You could grab whatever you want, just as long as you're out of that place. After 6 a.m., it should be safe to come back. If everything actually has gone to plan, you can proceed to take your throne. Do not look directly at either of the 2 mirrors beside you. Do not let the candle go out. The fan is behind you. You must protect the candle. Look straight ahead at the darkness, not at the candle, not at the mirrors, just straight ahead. So you're not going to know which one is the queen and which one is the fool, and that's because it's your job to find out. And from their point of view, you are either their queen or their fool. Hence, 3 kings. You won't be alone, and if you have questions, you get answers sometimes in the form of new questions. But that's just a story of humanity. Just stay put and try not to move again. Do not look directly at the mirrors nor the candle. Just straight ahead. Don't chicken out. you need to wait till at least 4:34. By 4:34, it's all over. It's okay to tremble a little bit. Just try not to, because it affects the rituals or anything. So typically, I don't know what happens during the actual ritual. It doesn't really tell me or anything, but that is how the ritual is supposed to go, or how you actually start it and how you actually do it. To play the game Blue Baby Blue, you have to go to the bathroom of your own, turn off the lights, and lock the door. Then you stare into the mirror and hold out your arms like you're rocking a baby and repeat the words Baby Blue, Blue Baby 13 times without making a mistake. If you do it right, you would suddenly feel the weight of an invisible baby in your arms. Then the baby will get heavier and heavier as it grows larger. Soon you would feel it scratching your arms. Before it gets too heavy, you have to quickly take the invisible baby and flush it down the toilet and run out of the bathroom. If you don't do it fast enough, a hideous woman will appear in the mirror and she will yell, "Give me back my baby." And the scream is loud enough to break glass. If you are still holding the baby, she will kill you. According to a legend to it, a group of girls found out about the blue baby story and decided to try it out. They didn't believe it would actually work, so they sent their friend into the bathroom on her own. She turned the lights off and closed the door behind her, and then she put out her arms and started chanting the phrase, "Blue baby, baby blue." All of a sudden, a baby appeared in her arms and began scratching her. Laura, or the person, was scared out of her wits and had no idea what to do. She wanted to drop it and run, but she was afraid of what might happen. She just stood there holding the invisible baby as it grew heavier and heavier. Suddenly, she caught sight of something horrible in the bathroom mirror and screamed in terror. When Laura's friends heard her screaming, they tried to open the door, but it was locked. Finally, they managed to run to a friend's house to get help, and when they broke open the door, they found her not alive on the bathroom floor. Her eyes had been scratched out, and they couldn't move her body because something large and invisible was pinning her to the ground. So this seems like it's kind of like another Bloody Mary type situation. It's just even been told that the lady might just be Bloody Mary, or the reason why the mirror actually breaks is because whenever she screams, the pieces of the broken mirror is what she used to kill her baby. The bath game, more known as Durumasan, is an old game summoning a ghost from a bathtub that follows you all day. Playing this game could actually result in bad things happening to you, even death. The only thing you're going to actually need for this is a bathroom with a bathtub. So starting the game, before you go to bed, take off all your clothes, enter the bathroom, fill up the bathtub, and turn out all the lights. Sit in the middle of the bathtub while facing the faucet, close your eyes, and wash your hair. As you wash your hair, you should repeat these words, "Duruma-san fell down, Duruma-san fell down." And don't stop repeating this until you finish washing your hair, and your eyes must remain shut. As you wash your hair, you will picture a Japanese woman standing in the bathtub. She will slip and fall onto a rusty tap, gouging her eye out, killing her. You will hear a sound coming from behind you or feel a movement in the bath. Do not turn around or peek. You have finally summoned the ghost. You will feel her presence as she emerges out of the bathtub. Ask out loudly, "Why did you fall in the bathtub?" You can finally get out of the bathtub and make sure your eyes remain shut. Make sure not to slip or trip as you get out of the tub. Do not drain the water until the next morning. Shut the door behind you. It is now safe for you to open your eyes. Keep the water in the bathtub until morning, and do not turn on any lights and go to bed. The woman is a ghostly figure that will follow you all day. She wears tattered and stained white clothes with black hair. She only has one eye. Her left eye is wide open and bloodshot. Her right eye is missing, just leaving a bloody hollow eye socket. So, whenever you wake up in the morning, the game will begin. Your day will begin normal until you will feel the presence of the one-eyed woman glancing over your right shoulder. When you turn around, she will not be there. She will get closer and closer as your day goes on. Don't let her catch you. If the one-eyed woman is getting too close, you should shout "Tomare," which means stop, then run away fast. This will put distance between you and the woman. You must end this game before midnight, or else she will keep stalking you and appear in your dreams to kill you. To end the game, you must catch a glimpse of the one-eyed woman and shout "Kita," which means "I cut you loose," while swinging your arm in a chopping motion. The game will end and the one-eyed woman won't follow you anymore. And there are some rules to this. It says, do not open your eyes when the ghost first appears. Do not let the one-eyed woman trip you when you leave the bathtub. Do not re-enter the bathroom after you leave. Do not drain the bath until morning, and do not let the one-eyed woman catch you. It is also told to play with caution because, you could end up dead. I've actually heard of this, but I've never, done it. Most of these rituals I've pretty much never done. Only, the first few, maybe first two, I've done. But typically with this, it would not be the best, just because imagine going around your house and just trying to go on with your day, and you can't because there's a one-eyed woman chasing you down, trying to kill you, and, you can't do anything. Or, imagine you have a one bathroom place and you have to use the bathroom and you can't. It just doesn't seem like a fun game to me, but there's people out there that are willing to try it, so I wish them the best of luck. The legend of Sara and Sarita goes where years ago there were two girls who went to a school in Mexico. One was named Sara and the other name was Sarita. They were twin sisters and they were very close, and both of them wore a matching coin on a chain around their neck. They were really quite beautiful. The girls sometimes stayed behind in the afternoon after school for cheerleading practice. One day, the girls stayed behind after school, but they didn't realize that practice had been canceled. The janitor who had worked at the school was a creepy weirdo. When he saw one of the girls going into the bathroom on her own, he followed her inside. He attacked her and abused her horribly before strangling her to death. When the other girl got worried and went to see what had happened to her twin, she found the janitor standing over the body of her murdered sister. He attacked her too, and she grabbed a shovel that was there and hit him in the head. She had kept hitting him until she thought she had killed him. However, whenever she turned to go get for help, he grabbed her and stuffed her head in the water tank, drowning her. He tied a rope around the neck of the other girl and hung her on the bathroom door. When their bodies were found and the police were called, they thought the girls had gotten into an argument and killed each other. The case was closed and it was dismissed as a murder-suicide. At the time, the girls' broken chains were found on the floor. The two coins were lying there. One coin was heads and the other was tails. The janitor was never caught for his crimes, and soon afterwards he moved away and nobody heard from him again. Typically with these kind of stories, you're not going to get a paranormal ritual with a happy story. Once in a while it could happen, but to actually play this game, you're going to need at least two people and two coins of the same value. The two of you sit on the ground, facing each other, holding a coin in your hand. Both of you say out loud, "Sara, Sarita, can I enter your game?" Throw the coin over your head so that it lands on the ground behind you. If the two coins land on heads, it means the answer is yes. If the two coins land on tails, it means the answer is no. If one lands on heads and the other lands on tails, the answer is maybe. If you both get yes, you can begin the game and ask Sara and Sarita questions. Throw the coin over your head and you will get answers. It is important to end the game properly, or they say bad things will happen. Some people say Sara and Sarita are the ghosts of murdered girls. Others say they are evil spirits or demons communicating from hell. To exit the game, You need to say, Sara and Sarita, can I leave your game? And throw the coin over your head and get the answer. If the answer is no, you need to keep trying until you get yes. Then there's a little warning that says some people find it very difficult to get out of the game, that there's even reports that they did everything properly to end the game and it does not really end. Hours after playing the game and ending it, they get the sense that something is wrong. They say out loud, Sara, Sarita, am I still in your game? And when they throw the coin over their head, they get the answer yes. The red book is basically kind of like another type of a Ouija board. So you're going to need at least 2 or more people to play it. And what the whole point is, like, it's just to contact another spirit. So the setup is, in order for this to work, you must find a quiet room, make sure all the lights are turned off and their curtains are closed. Sit in a circle with the rest of the participants and place the lit candle in the middle. You must now close your eyes, put your hand on the cover of the book and say, Red Book, can I enter your game? While still keeping your eyes closed, open the book on any page and point your finger towards a random spot on the chosen page. You may now open your eyes and read the sentence you have pointed out. This is your answer. However, the sentence will have to be interpreted by yourself in order for you to continue with the game correctly. If the answer is negative or doesn't necessarily make sense, this means you have failed to make contact with the spirit. You may try again. However, if the answer is positive, you may proceed. Each question will be answered through the book. So there are some things that you might not want to do. You must avoid asking any questions that could anger the spirit, such as questions related to your own death. Each participant must follow the same rules and wait for their turn to play. This means everyone must ask for and receive permission to take part. Once you have finished playing the game, you must ask aloud, Red Book, can I leave your game? Whilst keeping the palm of your hand on the book in order to leave the game, each player must get permission to do so. So there is like more instructions for it. It's like sit in the dark, close your eyes, place a hand on the book, Usually, typically, this seems to be just like another Ouija board, just with a book. It doesn't seem too, out there. Just so, as long as you don't do anything dumb, like ask your question on your own death, you should be pretty much fine. The Midnight Game, also known as the Midnight Man, is a ritual where you have to survive the Midnight Man until 3:33 a.m. The game must be played at exactly 12 a.m. for it to work. Things that you're going to actually need for it is paper and pencils, candles, a wooden front door, salt, a pin needle, and the lights to the house turned off. First, everyone that is playing must write their name on a piece of paper. Then you use the pin needle to poke your finger and drop the blood onto the paper that has your name on it. Next, you place the paper in front of your front door, the door that is, the wooden front door. Next, you light a candle and knock on the door 22 times, and on the 22nd knock has to be at 12 a.m. or the game will not work. Then you open the front door, blow out your candle, and then close the door. You have now summoned the Midnight Man. You need to immediately relight your candle. The goal for the rest of the game is to survive the Midnight Man. Everyone who is playing must walk around the house with their candle lit, avoiding the Midnight Man at all times until the clock strikes 3:33 a.m. That's when the Midnight Man leaves. If the candle blows out on its own, then that means the Midnight Man is near you and have 10 seconds to relight your candle. If you don't relight your candle in 10 seconds, then you must surround yourself with a circle of salt and wait until 3:33 a.m. If you fail to surround yourself with a circle of salt in time, then the Midnight Man will attack you and you will have hallucinations of your worst fears until 3:33 a.m. comes. So there are some signs to when the Midnight Man is actually near you. The candle will go out, you suddenly get really cold, you hear a loud whisper, you see a dark humanoid figure within the darkness. And there also comes with warnings where it says do not use someone else's blood on your paper, stand in one spot until 3:33 a.m. The Midnight Man will find you. Fall asleep during the Midnight Man game. Leave the house during the Midnight Man game. Use a lighter or some different light source in place of a candle. Turn on the lights during the Midnight Man game. And do not try to provoke the Midnight Man. So I guess it's just kind of just a game that you can play. It's not really something you get out of it, like no questions asked, no nothing. It's just a game that you can play, kind of like the hide and seek alone, where you just play it through and hope to survive till the next day or till the game's over. The shoebox telephone ritual is somewhat like the Ouija board. You're trying to contact someone very specific and, have a conversation with them, basically. The ingredients you're going to need is a phone booth, which a closet would do, a headset, which is like a little paper cup, your telephone box, which can be just a regular shoebox, a telephone wire, which is just a string about 2 to 4 feet, and you would also need a needle with it. Scissors, some strong object to power the telephone box with, so something very personal to that person you're trying to contact. So before you want to start, you want to wait until it's like the right time. It's nighttime, you have no distractions, you have everything turned off, and you're supposed to know when the right time is. There's no specific time as long as it's at night, but it could gradually hit you, or it could just hit you just like that when you know it's the right time. But if you've tried for a couple of nights and it just doesn't hit you, you just might not be ready for it, and you're just supposed to give it a break or have someone else try it. What you want to not do is write a letter in doubt, because then if you do, you might contact someone that you don't want to. But going off of that, everything's going correctly. You write your letter, and when you begin, you can't erase anything, you can't do it over. You only have that single sheet of piece of paper that is your first draft and is your final draft. Explain to the person why they should give you a ring. Be honest, let it out, not always easy. Don't overthink, just write. This is why you should wait for the right time. It would all make sense. Again, doubt equals wrong number. Never dial a wrong number. It's best to abort the whole thing. Next, when you're done, tie one end of the string to the power object, and using a needle, insert the end through the center of the bottom of your paper cup. Remove the needle, tie a little knot, and now you have a cute little paper telephone like you probably once made while you were a child. Don't prepare this ahead of time before your letter. Write the letter first and then do the paper cup. Next, read your letter out loud into the paper cup. Read it sincerely, as if the person at the other end could hear you, including all the mistakes you didn't correct. Just read them. This is your outbound call. Place the object and the letter in the shoebox, and place the shoebox on the floor of your phone booth, your closet. Then close the box, but don't seal it. Just let the lid rest there gently, with the string still coming out from under and going to your paper cup. Leave the paper cup standing on top of the box, and leave the scissors on the floor next to the box. And you're done. And now that all that's done, you just gotta wait for a ring. And if a ring actually comes through, it will come through your dream, either at night or some night shortly after. You will dream of the person trying to call you, and you will wake up from the dream, usually in the middle of the night, and you will know it, time to take the call. Do not turn on the light, do not say a word, just get up from the bed and go to your phone booth. If the box is still closed, with the paper cup standing on top, good. Get in the closet, sit down, and slide the door closed. If you find the box open, or if you find the paper cup knocked over, don't do it. Snap off the string, and do not take that headset anywhere near your ear. Use the scissors if you can. Snap the thread with your own hands. Otherwise, just sit on the floor there and press the paper cup to your ear and cover your other ear with your other hand to help you listen. It may take a while, you may not speak, don't move too much, and don't touch the box. So that's basically all it is, and I'm guessing it's just kind of where you will just contact the person, but I don't think it's really like you ask questions. It doesn't really explain of what exactly you get from this. It might just be a game, but I don't really think it is, because it explains it at, like, it's kind of like an Ouija board. You're just trying to get an answer out of something. The doors of your mind, also known as red door, yellow door, is a ritual that lets you explore the inner reaches of your own mind, a sort of guided meditation. To do this ritual, you need at least 2 people, a quiet room, a few candles, matches or a lighter, an alarm clock, or a pillow or recording device. The last 2 are pretty much optional. You don't have to really use them if you don't want to. Begin whenever you feel most relaxed. Find a quiet room, dim the lights, and set up your candles. Use the matches or lighter to light the candles, and you can finally set up your recording device. Let it be a phone or a camera. Set the alarm clock to go off 1 hour from the time you begin. Have your partner sit on the floor. You yourself should lie down with your head in your partner's lap facing up. You can also use the pillow whenever you're laying on your partner's lap. Have your partner begin rubbing your temples in slow circular motions. The tempo should be steady and the overall feeling relaxing. Keep your eyes closed. Your partner will function as your guide for the next portion. Have them speak the following words to you. You are at one end of a very long corridor. There are numerous doors on both sides of this corridor. Spanning the entire length, I want you to explore these doors and the rooms behind them. Describe to me what you see, hear, touch, and feel with great detail. At this point, you should find yourself in the corridor, traverse it, exploring the doors that line it, and the rooms kept behind the doors as you go. Describe each and everything you encounter. There are no rules to as how you explore the corridors and the rooms, but you could do it however you want. Pay as much attention to yourself as your surroundings. What are you wearing? What's in your pockets? Do you have anything meaningful about your person? Whatever you find, it might be useful. Take a good look and feel and so on of each door before you open it. What color is it? What size is it? The shape? What does the handle look like? Is the handle an unusual temperature? These details and more might provide hints about what is behind the door itself. You don't have to open up every door, just trust your instincts. If it's feeling weird or like you just feel like you shouldn't open that door, just don't open it. When the alarm goes off, your partner should guide you back to the real world. The exact words spoken to do so are up to your partner. But in all cases, the corridor should recede and any doors that have been opened should be closed by the end. Once you have returned, blow out the candles and turn off the recording device. You may listen to your recording if you want to or not. If you enter a room filled with clocks, do not touch any of the clocks and leave the room immediately. If you encounter an old woman, do not speak to her and leave the room immediately. If you encounter a man in a suit, particularly one who inspires feelings of unease or dread, describe him immediately to your partner. Your partner should then end the session regardless as to whether the alarm has gone off. If your partner is unable to end the session, do not speak to him and leave the room immediately. Some doors may be locked, blocked, or otherwise barred off. Check your person to see if you have a key. If you don't, however, don't worry. You may simply not be ready to deal with whatever's behind it and leave the door closed and move on. So I've actually heard of and watched a couple of videos on this. There's one in particular that you can look up that is actually very interesting that shows what could actually happen during the experience. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but just what you want to do is look up the red door, yellow door ritual, and it's typically I'm pretty sure it's a brother and sister that are doing it together, and that's pretty much it in their bedroom. So yeah, I would definitely go check out that video if you have not ever seen it or never actually done this ritual. And also, just in case you just don't want to do it yourself, you can just, of course, watch other people do it. I just wanted to say thank you for watching the video. I wasn't planning on having such a long video on this, but this iceberg just had a lot of entries into it. This is just the first two layers, and the other videos should be coming out soon. Uh, Sorry for my absence. I know it's been quite a while, but yeah, I'm going to try to get back on that grind again and see how things go.